嗨，大家好，欢迎来到就是棒球。嗨，大家好，欢迎来到就是棒球。那么我们今天会有一些特别内容可以分享给大家，我们会用访问的形式分享我们今天的特别来宾。好，那他的名字呢是 Rob Jackson， 他是一名资深的美国棒球教练。他现在呢任职于 MLB 美国职棒大联盟中国棒球发展中心的常州总教练一职。好，那关于 Rob Jackson 教练呢，他是来自美国堪萨斯市，那他拥有超过20年的棒球教学经验，以及有2年的自己私人的棒球营运发展中心的营运经验。那他有非常丰富的一些经验可以分享给大家。那我也非常荣幸呢，可以与他共事，然后在他身边，以及我们一起在训练上面，我们都彼此获得很多的一个讯息，能够放在我们的教学上面。那我们就开始吧。This is Rob. Hi, Rob.
Good to see you again, Joe.
Good to see you, Rob. Thanks for coming. And I do appreciate you spend this time for sharing your useful information to our audience. I think I trust that all the knowledge that you share is really useful for the people who are watching this video.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here are several key questions that I always been asked from parents, from players, from coaches about how to play. Let's say baseball environment in states, professionals, and how you develop. So let's collect and just briefly some key questions for you that I always been asked from them.
Yeah.
So first one is, people know we already knew that Rob is hired by the Major League Baseball program in China as a head coach right here in Changzhou. And what's your definition of player development?
So my definition of player development is a little bit different, just because I work with more of a younger. I work with a younger player. I work with high school kids mostly. I'll work with some college kids, a couple of professionals, but for most part, for my high school kids, it's really about developing them not only just as a player on the field, but also off the field. So player development to me basically means that I am training them to be not just a great player, but also a good teammate, also a leader, on and off the field. It's also trying to get them to be respectful, hold each other accountable, hold themselves accountable. So all that goes into that player development side.
Wow, totally agree. Can't agree more. So, regardless what you're saying about definition, also leadership and all those, like you said, culture building and those development side. How do you measure the success of the player development?
Yeah, success for player development, the way that I define it anyway, is a little bit different, just because it's hard to measure accountability. It's hard to measure how guys learning how to be respectful. It's hard to measure a guy being a good teammate. You can measure velocity, miles per hour. You can measure how far a kid hits a ball.
Yeah.
So on the player development side, yeah, those are things that we measure physically. Are they getting better? Are they getting stronger? We can see that in the weight room.
Yeah.
We can measure that. As far as the other stuff that we measure, it's really about how the reports that we get back from other coaches. It's the reports that we get back from their teachers or parents. When parents come to me and they say, yeah, my kid's making his bed every day, or my kid's, he's telling me good night, or he's telling me thank you, and he's saying thank you to my friends. I know that player development piece that we're putting in is working. Teachers, we have an accountability system here in Changzhou that kids have to actually take a card to their teachers every weekend, and they have to get it, or every Friday, and get that signed before the weekend. And if their accountability card is a bad rating, they get suspended.
Yeah.
But that's holding them accountable, and I can actually measure that, because they get a score, and it may be a 3 starting the first week that they're here, but in 5 weeks they may be up to a 4 rating. After 5 more weeks, they may be up to a 5 rating. So we can actually measure that progress that those kids are making in the classroom on being accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of get to see that. So we do get to measure that a little bit. Yeah.
And I think you also been kind of part of the challenge for not just create that grow and create that culture, but also how you maintain that, right? Maintain that.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's hardest part.
yeah,
To
I mean,
handle that. We've been through as athlete students, and it's just players and like the players and coaches in Taiwan or in the Asia area, we spend a ton of time to practice. We spend a lot of energy on baseball field. When it goes to class, it's not about it's not about we don't want to study. It's just kind of like energy is hard to transfer from what you're already being spent on the field, transfer on the book. And how do you think to help the players who are maybe not really want to focus on the books?
yeah, I mean that's a great question, because especially my time in the States was a little bit different than my time here in China. I mean, in China, it's all about academics. It's an academic culture here. And these kids that we have, they're thrown into a sports culture, but they're required to do so much academically. So it's really tough, but the hard thing for the boys that I train, they don't understand. They're at a MLBDC and they're thinking, oh, I've got to do everything on the field. Yeah. That's where my goal is going to be. That's where my success in life is going to be, is if I can play baseball. And so getting them and breaking that mindset is really important to get them to understand baseball is a very, very small part of life.
Yeah.
What they do in the classroom is going to take them farther in life than anything that they can do on a baseball field. And so, you ask the question, how do we get the kids to really buy into that? And it's buy-in. And it's showing them professionals that are making good money outside of baseball. It's showing them the different opportunities in business of baseball. We have an office staff here that's made up of former players. We have office staff of females that love baseball. And it's showing them those kind of professions to say, hey, it's not just playing, but again, all of these people are educated.
Yeah.
They had to go to school, they had to get good grades, they had to get good test scores, and showing that piece of it and showing them that information, and that way they can see it and they can say, oh, that is why my education is important. That's kind of how we do it, is we show them opportunities outside of the baseball field.
Yeah, I think this part is pretty useful and very valuable for sharing those information and those I would say tips for sharing to the coaches and players and also parents who wonder if they want to, I would not say tied up, but pushing their kid and showing this way. I think that's really useful. And okay, the next question would be related to more academy system in the States,
Okay.
which are parents and coach. Again, parents and coaches, they always ask me about, hey, they want to have their an opportunity is that for players to have any chance able to play in the States, as a high school graduate, and then just play. Maybe they can get involved into the D1, D2 program, to have that chance to get in the education side and also play baseball there. And there's a few questions that have always been asked, like what do the American college they are looking for, especially when they are recruiting, when they are recruiting players.
Yeah, so it goes back to kind of the previous question about the academic side.
Yeah.
The first thing the college recruiter is going to look for is, can that player actually pass his classes in college?
Yeah.
Because the college requirements, it's a little bit different for each college, but the typical standard is that the kids have to have a 2.0 out of a 4.0, which it's basically a C average. So we think that most kids should be able to do that, but there's some kids in the States that can't do it. There's some kids in the States that in high school they're not pulling that off because they think baseball is going to be their ticket. And a college recruiter, the first thing they're going to look for is, hey, do you have the grades that I know you're going to be able to keep in the classroom if I bring you onto my campus, I bring you onto my team? Are you going to be able to handle your stuff in the classroom so I know that you're going to be on the field every day? Because if you don't get that 2.0, the powers that be will suspend them and they can't play. So they're not useful to the coach. So the first thing is academics. Then the second thing is obviously baseball talent. I mean, they're going to look at the baseball talent. How hard you throw, pitchers, can you command a strike zone? Do you have other pitches that you can command? Hitters are going to look for power. They're going to be looking for situation guys. But more than that, after they kind of see that talent, they're going to look for, is this kid getting dirty? Is this kid working really hard? Does he have a good work ethic? Is he willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the team? And that's big for those guys, especially at a college level. And then they're going to look, the next question is, how does he relate to his teammates? You and I, Joe, we played the game. How we related to our teammates really affected how we went about our business on the field. And so that relationship between the teammates and being coachable and being able to help the teammates, that's a big part that college recruiters are going to look for also.
I think that's a very great opinion. But let's extend it. Let's extend what Rob was just saying. I think there's a lot of things connect back to the previous question is how you define the success and relates to academy side, because in Taiwan or for sure a lot of in Asia system is like if you already have a sticker on your chest that coaches or teachers think, hey, you're like very good players and you just play baseball all the way through, because they always believe that, okay, I already got free scholarship through the like high school, college, so they think, okay, my future just only play baseball. And so they probably one of the hints is the cost, they don't take academy side as part of their successful motivate in their life. I think that's right. I think that's critical for the reason behind it. But yeah, if we could combine those things and we can go over run instead of just one baseball thing, because Rob and I, we always been talking. We develop program, but meanwhile data statistics always show there's only 1%, maybe below 1% of the player can able to get into professional league. We've been through professional. I'm not playing that long in professional, but I know, and I'm really clear on those views that I know how tough and how hard that people studying there and prepare them every day to get in through that 1%. Okay, last question is, a lot of coaches have been asking me why let's say freshmen that graduate from high school and they get into the college system after 4 years, in average they got, most of them, they got improved so much. They improved so much, almost like different guy compared with the high school, junior, senior high school who graduate in when the year they are playing the freshman. Because I'm not saying in Taiwan that we got really good system, but a lot of good players, they show their peak performance on the maybe third or maybe junior or senior year of high school, and once they get through that, it's just when they go into college, you cannot see that trend, keep that trend when they get into a college. But we just wonder why. I've always been asked, and I try as much as I can to answer that. But I think this is the right guy. Rob can share that why they can improve so much when they get into the college system in the States. The 4 years.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, so the college system in the States is it's a little bit different, but than here in Asia. I've been able to see that. Biggest thing in college is in the States, they have designated times that they can practice in the fall. Mm-hmm. They have designated times that they can practice in the winter. It's a short time frame. I think that they get maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks in the NCAA, and that's in the fall. So they've got that very short window. They practice, they get as many games in as they can, inter-squad, and then they get a rest period. But it's not technically rest. They're just not hitting, swinging, throwing. They're actually in a weight room. They're getting bigger. They're getting stronger. But the other thing is they're giving their arms time to recover. And as a trainer, you know as well as I do, that recovery piece is so huge for these athletes. If they don't recover, they're just going to keep doing the same thing, and they're going to keep going down. because eventually the arm is going to run out of bullets that it has. So I think that's a big piece of it is just that time off to recover, but then that time off gives those coaches time to actually work with players on an individual basis instead of the team basis. And that's one thing that I see a big difference here in the Asian culture compared to what I see in the States. Not necessarily, hey, we're going to individualize this a little bit and fix the individual issues that we need to fix like we do back in the States.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I love it. I love it. Every time you and I communicate, it's great conversation.
Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we can have more videos and sharing the more experience and also training side, not just on the field but also off the field. And see you next episode. 好，那以上呢就是我们今天的访问内容，希望我们今天的访问内容呢对你有很多的启发及帮助。好，那也别忘了在影片下方订阅我的频道，以及分享各位喜欢棒球的一些观众朋友们。相信今天的影片呢，对于任何喜欢棒球的观众朋友们都会有些许的一些帮助。好，那对于各位的一些建议及想法呢，对我来说我都会认为呢非常非常重要。所以说如果说你们希望我在未来除了我的棒球技术棒球教学影片呈现以外呢，是不是还有更多一个机会能够在访问这些很多经验的这些美国教练？如果说你有任何想法，别忘了在我的留言区下方留言，我一定会采取各位的一些想法及建议，然后在未来我们的影片的方向做一些改变。好，也谢谢各位的一个支持，谢谢收看，我们下期见。